Joined now by former Pentagon official Michael Maloof here on set. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael.
Pleasure.
Okay, why did Bolton decide to make this aggressive announcement right now?
Well, at this time, it looks like, even though he's had this desire for regime change in Tehran for quite some time, what I'm hearing now is that the Israelis recently passed some information of a general nature to Bolton in a meeting that had occurred, that it was very general in nature. It didn't specify whether it was against U.S. assets or against Saudi Arabia or any of those. Again, it's unverifiable. It's a type of information that was very general, and there's always been the allegation out there that the Iranians would go after the bases. We have some 34 bases throughout the Middle East. So this, to me, in my opinion, now that Netanyahu has been reelected, the instigation has begun to get this going, to get the United States drawn in to fight its wars.
But Michael, yes, we are sending over our Striker fleet. We are actually putting some action behind it. But it's one thing to send over there. It's another thing to actually have them strike. Do you think this is just words and a threat? Or do you think this is something that Bolton's willing to actually put some meat behind?
If you leave it up to Bolton, I think he'll do it.
Okay.
Although it's supposed to be Trump's call. I think it's all positioning and posturing at this point.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like we're posturing right now.
We're posturing right now because I have not seen any evidence except I actually have seen no evidence that the Iranians have given a reason for such an action. However, it's clear that when you start sending in strike to carrier task forces like that, that you're lining yourself up. And I think that this is all part of Netanyahu's scenario to draw the U.S. in.
Well, and that's the thing. You talk about Israel. Is this more about protecting Israel or more about protecting the oil sanctions that the U.S. just recently put on Iran, saying, okay, we're going to make sure that we already heard rumors that going Germany and other EU countries were going to use back channels to still get their oil from Iran. What is this more about?
We don't use carriers to impose and enforce economic sanctions. This is more aimed at trying to placate Netanyahu, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, is there a direct security threat right now from the country of Iran to the U.S., do you feel?
No.
Or see anywhere?
No, not unless. I think if we did strike, then I think you would see some kind of retaliation from the Iranians. There's no question about it. From shutting down the Straits of Hormuz to getting all the Shias of the Middle East to rise up. And that's a potential, but again, they've made it very clear, and I think they've kept a low profile because they know they're operating from a position of military weakness. But it's not to their benefit it's not to the benefit of the Iranians to instigate trouble at this point, and they have enough problems as it is. Now, I know there's been some comments of shutting down the straits. That's only after the U.S. has shut off completely all of the oil and their source of revenues from oil.
So it's interesting, you bring up real quick, you mentioned Israel. This is all about Israel. The Israelis, and many do actually claim, though, that Iran's the funders of Hamas. And obviously, it's been a very tumultuous time this weekend over Gaza. Could that have had an effect on this announcement with Bolton?
No, I don't think so. I think this was just, I think there was a separate item that came to Bolton's attention from the Israelis, as I'm hearing it now, from a Mossad intel thing. Again, it was very general, but this has been Bolton's game plan all along. And as Dan Cohen said, he's been threatening it for some time.
Once again, it's anonymous sources. We need facts, names, and dates to go along with it.
Unfortunately, I'm concerned we might see a war envelop as a result of hearsay and faulty news.
Well, let's continue to watch this. Thank you so much for joining us,
Pleasure.
Michael.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.